These pictures obtained by King 5 show state wildlife officers studying the cat after they tracked and killed it following Saturday's fatal encounter. The seriousness of what their job entails showing on their faces, investigating the state's first fatal cougar attack in nearly a century. Call them cougars, mountain lions, or pumas, three names describing one species that can be found in nearly every forested area of Washington, the area above North Bend and Snoqualmie, no exception.
I think what we would find out is that, yes, they're right in our backyard, and we never know that they're there.
We reached Dr. Howard Quigley over Skype from his home in the Palouse.
We study big cats around the world, from African lions to tigers to snow leopards.
Quigley is the Puma program director for Panthera, a cat conservation organization working worldwide.
If it were African lions, if it were tigers, if it were even grizzly bears, those three species are known to attack people and even kill them for food. But when it comes to mountain lions, it's just so rare. We're going to look, from a scientific standpoint, look for what is that rare point that made this happen.
When it comes to humans, we are simply not on the menu.
I've been involved in carnivore investigations pretty much throughout my entire professional life.
Gary Kohler retired from the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. He spent a lot of time with big cats, and not just in Washington.
What a cat thinks and how a cat really operates behaviorally is really a puzzle.
And Kohler says this is a real mystery. The recommendation when confronted by a cougar: make yourself look big, make eye contact. If mauled, fight back. Don't let the cougar get behind you, and above all, do not run. That can make you look like prey, and that could be the case here.
All right, so Glenn, how many cases have we had involving cougars?
Surprisingly minimal. So let's go down the same trail, talking to Fish and Wildlife today. Since 1924, that fatality, there have been 20 reported contacts between humans and cougars, resulting in some sort of injury. 8 of those are serious injuries, including the one fatality. The others are not. And then there have been about 12 other cases where people have either been scratched or have fallen down and have been scratched, or running into bushes or something like that. Again, don't run, but that's kind of the total. So it's about 2,100 cougar is estimated in the state.
Glenn, you did a story, didn't you, a few years back about the intersection of people and cougars and how far they come into our area?
So yeah, Rocky Spencer, unfortunately, he was a Fish and Wildlife agent who was killed in a helicopter crash a number of years ago, but we had worked on several stories on this, and he had tracked cougars, put collars on them to see where they would go, because they're very mysterious. Often they will see you and you will not see them, but they were coming into suburbs like you know, Kent and all of the, well, even closer in than that, down these green belts, kind of come in, checking things out, leaving, nobody sees them. I was just talking to one of our colleagues upstairs in engineering. She remembers being in, I think it was Kenmore, seeing a cougar out on the street. Yeah.
All right, Glenn, thank you.